Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Compass presents Choosing and Navigating New Insurance, part of the Navigating CF series. Choosing insurance is an important step in the transition to financial independence for young adults living with CF. Today we will cover some of the basics, but we know it's a complicated topic. CF Foundation Compass case managers are available to provide one-on-one support. With Compass and your CF Care team, you don't have to navigate this alone. Regardless of the plan option, there are some important coverage and cost factors to look for. Let's review some basic terms we will need later. The coverage period is the time during which your plan is effective. For some plans, the coverage period is a calendar year, while other plans follow a coverage period like July 1st to June 31st. Towards the end of your current coverage period, you will need to review your options for the next year. Knowing the dates and deadlines for enrollment or re-enrollment is key to getting the coverage you need. The annual open enrollment period is a limited time where you can change your health insurance or re-enroll in the same plan. It's important to reevaluate your options every year during this time to decide if your plan still meets your needs. In most states, if you miss open enrollment, you can't enroll or change coverage unless you qualify for a special enrollment period, which is based on a life event such as moving, losing coverage, getting married, or having a baby. The premium is the amount you will pay every month to keep your plan active, whether or not you need care. Premiums may be paid directly to an insurance company for plans you purchase, or be deducted from your paycheck for a plan through your employer. This amount stays the same for the coverage period but can change from year to year. The deductible is the amount you must pay before your insurance will begin paying for care on your behalf. For some services, such as preventative care, insurance will pay even if you have not yet met your deductible. You can find out more about what's considered preventative care at healthcare.gov. After your deductible is met, you will share costs with the plan. Your plan may charge a copay at the time of service. A copay is a fixed dollar amount, for example, $25, that you would pay for each covered service or prescription. In most cases, copays do not count towards the deductible. Copays vary from plan to plan and may vary between services. Your plan may also have coinsurance for some covered services or prescriptions. Coinsurance is a form of cost sharing like a copay, but it is a percentage of the cost you pay after reaching your deductible. For example, you may pay 10% and the plan will pay 90% of the contracted rate until you meet your out-of-pocket maximum. Finally, the out-of-pocket maximum is the most you will pay for covered services during the coverage period. After the out-of-pocket maximum is met, the plan pays for 100% of all covered services for the remainder of the coverage period. Keep in mind, you could have separate out-of-pocket maximums for prescriptions and out-of-network coverage if your plan has out-of-network benefits. Check out additional resources on cff.org or call Compass for help with the basics of insurance terms. Now that we have covered some basic terms, let's talk about some different insurance options you may have. Employer plans may be available to employees and their spouses or dependents, like children. Employers pay a portion of the plan's monthly cost and employees pay the remainder. The employer's contribution to your premium may depend on your full-time or part-time employment status. Marketplace plans are health plans that you can purchase on your own. Within certain income ranges, there are discounts or premium tax credits to lower monthly premiums. Private plans are similar to Marketplace, except there are no discounts or premium tax credits on monthly premiums. Now, let's talk more about where you can find these plans. If you are starting or changing jobs and your employer offers health insurance, your Human Resources Department or the Benefits Administrator will provide documentation on your plan options. If you are losing other coverage and need information on plan options in the middle of the year, ask your Human Resources Department or your Benefit Administrator for the most up-to-date plan information. Some employers will have plan information on a benefits website or provide you with PDF links to plan documents. Other employers may use a paper handbook or benefits packet. If an employer plan is not an option for you or does not meet your needs, you may be able to purchase a plan that meets your needs on the health insurance marketplace, sometimes called the exchange. To search for plans, go to healthcare.gov. If your state uses a separate state exchange, you will be automatically redirected to the right website. If Marketplace does not have a plan that meets your needs, or you are not eligible for a premium tax credit that lowers the monthly cost, you may be able to purchase a plan directly from an insurance company. To see all plans available from private sellers in your area, start by searching finder.healthcare.gov. Using a resource such as finder.healthcare.gov ensures you are viewing a full list of plans for purchase in your area without bias or commissions from a third-party broker. You can enroll in a plan through finder.healthcare.gov, or you can go to that company's website, shop for individual and family plans, and purchase the plan directly from that company. When it's time to search for a new plan, there are some things you will need to get started. A list of your providers, such as your CF Care Center, a primary care doctor, or durable medical equipment providers for things like oxygen, diabetic supplies, or home health. A list of all your medications, and an estimate of how much you would be comfortable paying for a monthly premium. If you are searching Marketplace or private plans, you will also need your zip code and county to start, and then the ages or date of birth for all household members. For Marketplace plans, you can also enter your household size and estimated income for the current year if you are interested in a discount on your premium. Healthcare.gov is a great tool to help you determine who to include as part of your household and what counts as income. It's important to get this information right as it impacts how much you pay for health insurance. Information to have ready when you start your plan search can also be found on cff.org in the Navigating CF series. Let's review some plan documents that will be helpful in confirming if a plan is the right fit. We'll go into more detail about each of these documents a little later. The Summary of Benefits and Coverage outlines the plan's costs, coverage, and restrictions. The Evidence of Coverage is the full description of the plan's benefits, including limitations and exclusions. The Provider Directory is a list or search engine of providers in network with the plan. And the Drug Formulary is the list of covered medications. Employers may provide a member handbook that will have general information about benefits but does not answer your specific questions. If this happens, the handbook should have contact information for the insurance company or the employer's benefit administrator. You can call the insurance company's member services and provide the group number and the name of the employer. They may be able to pull up the plan details with this information and answer your questions that way. If you are having trouble locating or understanding plan information, Compass is available to help you and compare plans based on the information you have. Remember, just because one plan worked well under an insurance company does not mean another plan from the same insurance company will have the same benefits. Now, let's take a closer look at the documents you might see when comparing your plan options. The Summary of Benefits and Coverage is a guide that provides information about the plan, such as costs, benefits, and exclusion. Probably the most helpful tool when comparing plans. On the Marketplace or Private Plan Finder, the Summary of Benefits is easily located under Plan Documents. For employer plans, the Summary of Benefits would be provided by your Human Resources Department or your benefit administrator. Let's take a look at a few things worth noting on the front page of the Summary of Benefits. Check the coverage period. Start by looking at the date in the upper right-hand corner to ensure it's the version for the current plan year. Review the plan's name and type. It's important to make sure you're reviewing the Summary of Benefits for the right plan. Verify out-of-network coverage. Receiving care from an out-of-network provider and getting your insurance to cover it may require more effort on your end and will cost more than using an in-network provider. Information on what providers are in-network is also found on the first page of the Summary of Benefits. It may include a direct link to the provider directory or the name of the provider network the plan uses. This is also a good place to see whether the plan requires a referral from a primary care doctor to see a specialist. Sometimes the summary of benefits will not link directly to the plan's provider directory and will take you to a landing page where you must filter for the correct one. It's important to have the correct provider directory because doctors may accept certain plans offered by an insurance company, but may not accept all plans. Here are some tips for ensuring you're searching the correct provider directory. Select the state, region, or county where you live. Select how you get insurance. Some examples are marketplace/exchange, off-exchange, employer small group, or employer large group. Lastly, select the correct network like HMO or PPO. This is the plan type found at the top of the first page of the summary of benefits. When you locate the correct provider directory, you can start looking for your providers. Here are some helpful tips as you search. Use the zip code of the provider instead of your home zip code. Depending on how far you live from your providers, using your zip code may result in them not showing up in your search, even though they are in network. When you find a provider in your search, check the locations where they practice and make sure the location where you receive care is listed. You can also double check the insurance networks they participate and make sure the one you are interested in is listed there. Now let's look at the prescription medication section in the summary of benefits. It will have important information such as a link to the drug formulary, how the plan categorizes medication into groups or tiers, and what copay or coinsurance you would be responsible for. Pay special attention to the limitations, exceptions, and other important information column for prescription drugs. Similar to the provider directory, the summary of benefits may not link directly to the plan's drug formulary. It's important to make sure you're looking at the right formulary because medication coverage will vary. Here are some tips for ensuring you are searching the correct drug formulary. Select the state, region, or county where you live. Select how you get insurance. Some examples include marketplace/exchange, off-exchange, employer small group, or employer large group. Check how many drug tiers are listed on the summary of benefits. If drug formularies are categorized by tier, you will want to make sure you are using the corresponding formulary so you have an accurate estimate of how much a drug will cost. Here are some tips for searching once you find the correct formulary. Look for the brand or generic names of medications. If a medication is listed more than once, check for the specific dosage you are taking. Once you find a medication, pay attention to the tier listed for each medication, as well as any requirements or quantity limits. We've talked about finding your providers and medications, but chances are those aren't going to be the only things important to you. Here are some examples of other coverage information you can find in the summary of benefits. Based on your unique needs, you can see coverage and how much you would expect to pay for services like office visits, testing such as lab work or imaging, hospitalizations, home health care like home IVs, or durable medical equipment such as vests and nebulizers. Check the cost sharing amounts. Some services may only require a copay, while other services may require a copay at the time of service and a coinsurance, which you would receive a bill for later. Another helpful section of the summary of benefits is the coverage examples. They are meant to give you an idea of your coverage for specific conditions such as pregnancy or diabetes and the potential cost of care. This is important since it gives you an idea of how the plan functions and what the cost sharing looks like. The summary of benefits will include a list of excluded services. This may not be a complete list of all services excluded by the plan, so this is an example of where the evidence of coverage would be useful. If after reviewing the summary of benefits you still have questions, the evidence of coverage is the full terms and conditions of the plan. A link may be found on the first page in the summary of benefits or on the bottom of one of the pages. You can also get the evidence of coverage by calling the plan or by asking your Human Resources Department or benefit administrator. For example, if the use of copay assistance to help you reach your deductible and out-of-pocket maximum is a priority to you, the evidence of coverage is where you would search for any restrictions. Remember, Compass is always available to help you research plans and find answers to your questions. While it's natural to focus on costs and coverage, there are other questions you can ask yourself to determine if the plan will be a good fit for you. How many specialists do you see, and does this plan require a referral from a primary care doctor for each one? Do you travel for care, particularly to another state? Does this plan have a limited or nationwide network? If you have ever heard the terms PPO or HMO, these describe the plan type and how flexible the network is. For a more in-depth review of the differences between plan types, check out the Navigating CF series. If you are reviewing employer options, there are several unique questions to be aware of. Information on how the plan is funded can be found in the plan documents or by calling the insurance company. Self-funded companies have more flexibility in choosing what to cover or exclude from their plan, such as certain high-cost specialty medications. So it's important to have that information when making your decision. Employers may have a very short turnaround time for you to enroll in coverage, so make sure you understand the enrollment deadlines. Employer plan premiums usually are taken out of your paycheck, so it's nice to know how often and how much will be taken out. Insurance is complex and can be hard to navigate. If you have an employer option available to you, you will most likely consider these plans first. But if your employer plan does not cover everything you need, or you have limited information on the plans, you have options. If something isn't covered, sometimes a plan will approve an authorization or an exception for the specific care or medications you need, but it's not always a guarantee. Other times, a marketplace plan or private plan sold in your area may be a better alternative to your employer plan. And remember, Compass is always available to help you navigate your options. Let's say after reviewing plans, there are several options that will cover all of your needs, and you still aren't sure how to narrow it down. Comparing the overall cost of the plan might help you feel more confident in your decision. Let's look at a very general formula that will give you an idea of costs. A simple way to estimate overall costs of a plan is to multiply the premium by 12, or however many months you will have the plan if less than 12 months. Add that number to the out-of-pocket maximum, and you have an estimate on how much healthcare would cost with that plan for the coverage period. Remember, this is just one scenario. Not everyone will meet their out-of-pocket maximum, so your costs could be lower. As soon as you have an insurance card and the insurance is active, update your CF Care Center, providers, and pharmacies with your new insurance information. This may help you avoid delays in your treatment if you have medical and prescription needs that require prior authorization from the new insurance. The address you used when you applied for the plan is where all insurance documents will go. Check and open all mail. Insurance cards and eligibility letters may come in unmarked envelopes. Keep your insurance company updated with any address changes, and for marketplace plans, update them if your income changes throughout the year, as this may affect your premium tax credit. There are different types of financial assistance out there to help you reduce your healthcare costs. Things like copay assistance, premium assistance, or help with office visits may be available. Eligibility and benefits vary by program. Talk to someone on your CF Care team or Compass about financial resources available to you. You've done your research and picked a plan, but things happen. Maybe your plan changed benefits mid-year or your needs changed. Regardless of the reason, if you have an issue with your coverage, you do not need to accept no as an answer. Talk to your CF Care team or call Compass whenever you have an issue, and remember, you are not alone. Compass case managers are ready to help you understand all the in and outs and find health insurance options available to you. Connect with us whenever you need help.